Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's the 17th of July 2024 and here we are with another video. It's going to be a long one today, lots of writings in today's journal entries, so it's going to be probably a bit intense, but here we are, another day in paradise. So today's reading is journal entry is entitled, the subtitle is Manic Flavours Triggered by Loss, but She Never Quits Her Truest, Deepest Love. And the title photo is from The Hobbit. What's your favourite Hobbit-inspired artwork? Tolkien's original pencil and watercolour illustration of Bilbo going to the huts of the raft elves has to be one of ours, indeed. It's absolutely exquisite. Right, here we go, babies. Here we go. Today's date, 17th of July 2024, 10 a.m. Revivified zombie dancing queen slept for 11 hours and 45 minutes last night. Only 2 pee breaks during that time. Impressive. It looks like CPAP is working. Pity my days are full of nasal congestion and my lungs struggle coughing up phlegm. But at least I'm getting better sleep, I assume, and while the mask is on, I don't cough or struggle with my schnoz. Well, I do sometimes cough a bit, as I'm settling down to sleep, but seem to not be having too much coughing during the night, so my body overcompensates during the day, but never mind, battling on. I've been using CPAP for 13 days, well, 13 nights really. I'm told one usually adapts to it after 2 weeks, so hopefully this is the shot to better health for the Tanya, who frankly is over decades of interminable suffering. 59 years of it, quite enough. But if this keeps working, I will bloom exponentially. I will prosper, I will thrive, and I will keep jive turkeying my hide with my wild shamanic dancers. Fly over the mountain, breathe fresh air, and create new vistas and just love. 17th of July 2023, 12:26 p.m. It's another blustery early August winds day today. Very cold, but the sun is out, it's beautiful. Interesting. Well, it's winter, isn't it? Anyway, back in a year ago, 12:26 p.m. The day is grey and murky, which perfectly matches my mood. I stayed up until 2 a.m. working on my vocal media journal. It takes forever to copy across and rescue my memories and quirky stories from the vaults of Facebook, but I deem them valuable, so I push myself through all the trauma reactivating and the howling giggles at some of my conversations in the dance scene. It's been an interesting life, hard to navigate, but enriching spiritually, if not fiscally. I have seen so much personal growth in the past 8 years since my suicide attempt, almost 9 years now. Staying in love with my God's ancestors that love me, and my own wild spirit has gifted me much joy and courage in the midst of horror and grief over our current paradigm. I've been listening to The End of COVID, which has modules on all the many varied ways we as a global population were sold down the river Styx. I'm so glad of my advocacy, courage, and utilising my God-given intuition when the world went completely mad and began its perversion. The COVID epoch has ended. Actually, no, it hasn't really. I'm not seeing a lot of change, really. I'm still seeing a lot of denial, a lot of gaslighting, a lot of scapegoating, a lot of new zombies in the process of creation. It's actually very, very terrifying since I've come out of that long, dark tunnel and revivified myself. I'm now having to wait for everyone else to wake up, number 37. It's a bit fucking terrifying sometimes. There is much to be answered for and egg on thousands of faces, but I realise it will never end. The governments and billionaire elites will drum up new disasters, and we the people need to hold our ground on our small patches of planet Earth. The latest disease du jour is they're threatening us with bird flu. Love each other, fight for our freedoms. I fight by dancing and living my best life. How about you? For peace, for joy, for our right to live in relative comfort, ease and safety. Fight with energy if you don't have, the militaristic background or the weaponry to fight with, then you must fight with your own energy, dancing wildly and joyously, or whatever creative outlet you enjoy. Go do that. Surround yourself with people who are also enjoying their inner spirit and creativity, and in that we begin to heal ourselves and thrive, babies. Always aim to thrive. Sometimes we fall flat on our faces, but get back up again, babies. Be resilient, be courageous, be full of joy and light, and truest, greatest loves. To see this big no, it's just the way the sun's hitting my teeth through the windows. Looked weird, looked like I had a big crack. I was like, don't go there, girlfriend. Don't go there. I have phobias about my teeth because I've had terrible struggles with my teeth all my life, since I was 13. Here's a promo photo of my very beautiful, very talented, but very estranged and weird ass daughter at the moment. Anyway, it is what it is. When the estrangement kind of began really last year over that show. That was actually her show that she produced, and she handed the reins over to other people, and it all went to hell in a handbasket. And you know what? In a way, it's what happens when you don't treat your mother very nicely. Karma's a bitch. But I still fought for her. I still fought to promote her show. Here it is, even on my vocal media page. The first review of Crystal's show. I want my daughter to be, she is a success, but I want her to carry on with her work and make the best of herself. And I really want her to stop this bullshit frickin' fantasies that I hate her and I'm out to get her and I don't love her enough and all this mad mother hydra baby sucking into her brain bullshit, because none of it's true, actually. I want my daughter very much. I'm the one that reached out again, put out the olive branch for the love of God. Anyway, the creature that has infested my daughter thinks I owe her an apology, but she forgets that she was the one last September that told me to produce a palliative team doctor's letter to prove that I'm dying. And so it is she who owes me an apology, especially given how precariously weakened I was in September, to the point where I actually thought I was going to die. And bear in mind, Wednesday night, my breathing shut off yet again. I nearly died. So in real terms, that my daughter refuses to acknowledge, because she might have to actually step up and be a daughter to me. I could die at any given moment in the space-time continuum. Why the fuck do you think I go dancing every weekend, have my couple of drinks, surround myself with people who seem to quite like me most of the time, except for those two fucking demon-spawned entities on early Saturday morning? Most of the time people treat me with kindness and respect and genuine care. Why do you think I have this lifestyle? Because I'm fending off my own fucking death, as I have done for 59 years and 3 months, by the way. Anyway, my daughter wants an apology, wants me to grovel, tells me I've got too big an ego. Please. Family narcissism, projecting their own shit onto me yet again. You know what? Go be free. Prosper in all your undertakings. Your mother always and forever will love you no matter what, even though sometimes you need a bloody good spanking, disrespecting me in that way when I was weak and dying. Shake it off, Tanya. Shake it off. And I'll just continue as I have done, living my life alone. It's the only way to stay sane in the membrane. July 17th, 2021. I just had a lovely chat with Annie in Wales. It's 30 degrees there, sweltering. That's hot for Wales. Love you, Annie. Haven't heard from her for months either. Oh well, they pop up from time to time when they decide they need a dose of the Tanya, and then they drift off again. It's all good, isn't it? It's all good. 17th of July 2020. These are old writings. I don't know why I've got them under 2020, because they actually belong to 2001, I believe. Let me see, what date have I got down at the bottom. No, I was wrong. Writings from 4th of November 2004. Copyright Tanya Desiree Aarons. Alright, here we go. I'm not sure why that was being regurgitated now in July when it belongs in November, but it must have needed repeating. I must have been sending a message to someone, or even to my own psyche, to remind me of how far along I have come. Who's that? No one. I mean, it's someone, but no one of interest to me. That's what I mean by that. Spontaneity is the essence of life. Wellsprings of happiness bubble forth and send out waves of well-being. Crap merchant babbles oblique nothingness to create a spontaneous illusion of normality. The writings of a mad woman being worshipped from afar, hopelessly devoted to you, babies. Faint echoes of lost loves reverberate inside my mind. I look neither left nor right. I hide from the reality of carrying a love for those who were left behind. I resent the bullshit that was left inside my psyche. I feel like a trussed-up old whore, worn out from the knowledge of my failures and despondency. I sit here and contemplate my future. What would it be like? If I could only transform all the emotional flotsam and jetsam from my past, let it subside like the ebbing tide and flow with the light and joy of new loves, better loves, reciprocated and respected. I guess that's probably why I posted that again, because I'm seeing it happening. That was back in 2020, mind you. I struggle still to love myself enough to feel whole again. My psyche has been shattered like a broken mirror. The shards and pieces make a mosaic of pain, loss, and fear. I surrender to the shame, the sense of emptiness. I know when I reach down into the depths, the pit of my loneliness, that I still have the ability to slowly rise to the heights of ecstasy again. No man can ever destroy me, not for long. I am strong, I am determined, and most important of all, I am free. I surrender to my freedom, knowing that it is hard won and a blessing bestowed on one who has suffered. It is like a medallion made from an alchemical alloy, some gold, some silver, some platinum, some titanium, shining in the sky blue sunlight. Some hope, some courage, some light, some strength. I am afraid to lose it. 'Tis more precious than diamonds, rubies, plutonium. I have tasted it, and it is good. So what do I do now that I have made peace with my enemies? Those that I cannot trust, those who have proved themselves beneath honour, valour, or moral decency. It encircles my heart like a vice, clenching, squeezing my lungs. The soul of memory strangles my rational mind. We all know it was not safe for me. We all know it was pure intuition that brought me back to the scene of my destruction, the house of pain, the mother of inconstancy, and her manipulative, evil boyfriend. Perhaps I hope and trust in the fact that senility renders my mother poisonless, that her time without me had taught her humility, that she knows and understands the price of having me in her life, kindness, respect, and unconditional love. Is it too high? Is it too much? Will I once more be damaged by facing the hag of my past illusions of familial love? And indeed I was greatly harmed indeed, over and over and over again, until the will dispute ended. The embedded longing deep within for love to be seen, heard, understood, loved passionately, uncompromisingly, and respectfully. The sensation of freewheeling into the mindless future, of not knowing where I will be from one moment to the next. I walked down dark and misused alleyways of my mind, pondered the future of a past relationship, wondered how I could have been so wrong when my heart continues to say yes to the ghost of a man that hurt me so long ago, and yet the memory is as fresh as yesterday. In my mind, he is still with me, a millisecond of thought away. A strange and unholy bond that should have been broken so long ago. Later on I became ill, so maybe the yearning was just a manifestation of a physical malaise. Everything has to be all right. Give it time and it will flow all right. It has been a long journey of despair and loss, but things have started to smooth out all right. You'll see, it will all go your way in the end, and you will be all right. No one will steal your freedom, and no one will stand in the way of your happiness. It is your right and privilege, and all will be well with you. The blessings bestowed upon you will heap up, and you will glow effervescent in the darkness of your mind. You will no longer linger in the shadows of your own mind. It will be erased. There will only be beauty all around you. It's odd that same car went round again. Anyway, where was I? There will only be beauty all around you. Your talents will come to the fore, and you will make a living doing what you love, writing and performance. There is a whole new world opening up to you, and it is close, very close, to becoming a reality. You will have to work hard and trust in yourself, but it will explode. Just let your thoughts find expression. You have much to teach the world, much to explore. Finding oneself alone after a lifetime of being surrounded by loved ones feels very strange, like an air of expectancy is around you. A sense of mystery and an awareness of magic lingers in the air. So that's the end of that particular piece of writing from 2004, and I'm like kind of freaking out because I haven't made a living from writing or performance, but I do write, and I do kind of do my performance art while I'm dancing, gesturing to all the lyrics and all the songs. I've been doing that for many years, by the way. Many years. So I don't get paid for it, but I guess, you know, my friends in the bands recognise my strange and quirky artistic ways. I just came across this from 2014. Wow. March 5 at 10:32 p.m. near Brisbane. I met a man who sang the blues. I asked him for some happy news, but he just smiled and turned away. Okay, so I burst my bubble, decided to communicate effectively My reaction to the last suitor playing me for a dumb blonde idiot with no soul. I texted him to blow him out of the water. I abhor game players and superficial men. Phew. Feel like I had a nice little purge. Hopefully in time I will meet a man who is not fake or superficially polite to enhance his own prospects. Oh, my back's really starting to pinch. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. This one will have to stay out of my way. I'll be on my side of the pub, and he can stay on his. I actually told him that. It's like, don't fuck with it, Tanya. Here we go. I write, never the twain shall meet again. It's a bit unrealistic given we attended all the same bands and moved in the same circle of clubs and pubs, cycling around. But anyway, here I continue writing. I'm an all or nothing woman, and if you treat me like I'm nothing, then no thing shall you receive from me, including my attention, my amazing personality, or my joie de vivre. Go back to watching, waiting, yearning in your dark corner, boy chick, 'cause this woman is staying in the light near the band, rocking out with or without you, and loving it. Troglodytes, Neanderthals, and Homo soporific sanitized, scrubbed up, polished, but not quite interested men can stay in the dark. This reminded me of the hippie filmmaker Frenchman I met once in Byron Bay, who spent an hour or two raving madly to me in French, even though I gently explained that "Ma française est trop pauvre, monsieur," meaning my French is very bad, very poor. Same thing, really. Promising me God only knows what delights of lovemaking and sophistication and je ne sais quoi. Then finally, in frustration, when he realized I could not comprehend any of his gestures d'amour, he thanked me for my attention. Merci beaucoup pour votre attention. Men, quel dommage. Je vous en prie. What is a woman to do except dites-moi adieu? Also, I had my 2 teenage daughters with me. What did you think I was going to do with my kids watching every move I made? For the love of all the gods. Okay, I am strangled by my own franglais. Franglais, stranglais, escapé, tout de force, formidable, je pleure, but not too much, 'cause I find this all rather funny. Indeed I did, and I still do, babies. Find it all rather funny. Earlier I must have written, so it's going back in time, March 5th, 9:14 p.m. near Brisbane. Like a siren, I lure them from their shadowy safety, where they can drool into their beers, into the bright lights, under the stage where the musos play the lyrics, the poetry of passion and pain, while beneath I rock and I sway, jolt and stomp, leap and almost fucking pirouette. At the same time, scouring the crowded pub for enemies or suitors, or worse, drunken rape-eyed accosters, whom I flick away from my flesh with a quick elbow aimed mid-dance at their chest, or kick my legs in just the right way to protect my assets and throw them off-centre, remaining hypervigilant and splendid, protective and loving to my fellow women dancers and occasionally the male dancers also, while allowing only a precious few into my space. The one time I let a troglodyte into my life and I get what? Ambivalence, indifference, and ignorance. Lesson learned. Next time I get vaguely interested in a vague man, I will remove myself from the situation. Don't engage with idiots. Ha! Famous last words, darlings. Well, here's the thing, to be fair, I didn't think he was a complete idiot in the beginning. I found that out later, to my chagrin. But anyway, here I continue writing. Well, I did tell him honestly I was feeling weak and broken as I had hurt my back. Ha ha. Isn't that interesting that my back started twinging just as I start doing this reading? It's almost like my body remembers and keeps the score. Oh dear goddess, that's a bit silly, but it's how it kind of works, people of Earth. The body keeps the score. I wonder when my body's going to get rid of all this excess mucus from the CPAP and just let me breathe properly again. Because I've got lots of breathing to do and lots of love making to do. I don't know with whom yet because the eagle has not yet quite landed, but I've got plans for my future. I'm ready for my loving partnership and, my thriving, and I don't want to premature ejaculate myself into the frickin' next dimension or into the next adventure. It needs to be all done properly and honouringly and lovingly, but I'm feeling hopeful. Maybe it's because I had, 11 hours and 45 minutes sleep. So I'm feeling more hopeful today than I usually feel. It's probably delusional. But anyway, life goes on. Whatever happens, happens, and life will continuously go on. And it's all about manifesting joy in your own life. I haven't got anything else to look forward to, have I? It's a bit sad, isn't it? What can I say? I've lived this way for many years. So your sad is my little bit of sad is someone else's tragedy or vice versa. It's all relative to the situation at hand, people of Earth. Yeah, I should do that, but a bit more dislodging things. That alien thing can leave my body, it can go out now. You're not welcome to live inside my lung capacity, interfering with my chi. Weg damit, as they say in German. Anyway, here we go, we're continuing on. Inala was interesting. Mouth splint happening. No, it didn't. I changed my mind on that. It's a risk that it might crack my front teeth, so not happy at all. But the splint is worth $2,000 privately, and I guess I'll give it a go if it aids my sleep apnea. I doubt it. Yeah, I doubted it too. It's funny how they try to seduce me by telling me how expensive and valuable the splint is and what a great favour they're doing for me. What, smash my $10,000 teeth for a $2,000 splint? I don't think so. Do the math, people. Jesus. Well, now I'm about to get a $1,400 CPAP mask, so everything's always around that magical $2,000 mark. It's almost bizarre, people of Earth. It's almost bizarre. Afterwards, this was interesting. This was an interesting encounter. Afterwards, I went to Macca's. That's Aussie for McDonald's, by the way. I went to Macca's for a coffee frappe and a 30-cent cone. Oh, some guy started talking to me about how he is homeless but thinks he might get a place this arvo. Arvo means afternoon. He said he was sad as 2 of his friends had threatened suicide yesterday. I said, yeah, I know how that feels. He correctly identified my tattoo as the burning bush. Very, very clever man, because most people stupidly think it's the tree of life, which it is not. It's the burning bush. So I told him life will improve, albeit slowly. And he said, yeah, bring enough pebbles, you can make a mountain. Then he blessed me, hoping my life is better, and I wished him the same, and we went on our merry way. He was nice looking, intelligent, spiritual, but like me, damaged. I was a bit stunned afterwards. He had silver nail polish on but was dressed like a man. Unusual, eclectic, charming. He wore a pendant of a dragon. Either side he had 2 rings he called halos, and under the dragon hung another pendant which said, love. We both smiled the sad smile at each other when he mentioned the love pendant. Soul kinships. No. I actually did walk away from meeting that man. He was younger than I, not a lot younger, but I just felt like I'd had some kind of powerful angelic encounter. It was a bit bizarre, to be honest. But we blessed each other in our spiritual walk and sent each other on our way, and yeah, it was an astonishing moment. There in Inala, of all places. Inala's a very rough neighbourhood in Brisbane, if you don't know Brisbane. But anyway, I don't judge. I've lived in rough neighbourhoods in my day too. Barely fucking survived it, so I don't judge these things. But yeah, he was a lovely man, very lovely. Also written in 2014, the usual requisite trigger warnings of child sexual abuse, domestic violence, systemic abuse, and other generic inadequacies mixed in with actual psychopathology or garden variety sadism. So, cup of tea time for those of you with fragile nerves. Run along, nothing to see here. You've got your own stuff to deal with and you don't need to be triggered by mine. I try to protect everyone around me as much as possible, but I also have to continuously, speak my own truth and my own reality in the event it might help someone that needs to hear it or needs to see that you can survive anything, including all of those subjects mentioned above. So here we continue on. Take a deep breath. My mother has a nostalgic memory of her mother. You are driving me up the wall. So she laughs at her childhood memory of trying to run up the walls. Was machst du? What are you doing? My grandmother shrieks at my mother. I'm trying to climb the walls, 'cause I drive you up them. For once she is not beaten senseless. The comic irony was not lost on my grandmother. In fact, comic irony was really lost on anyone in my family of origin. A clever quip could often avoid calamity unless the timing was wrong or the tone was a little too sarcastic, or sometimes just because Mum was in a bad mood, then nothing saved your ass or your face. "Here comes Slap Happy," my dad would quip gleefully. He loved to make her public enemy number one, but the truth was they were both my enemies. Both were inconsistent, volatile, and unpredictable. It had always been so. They had been raised with the same level of violence and the threat of impending doom. Well, in actual fact, my mother had endured worse violence, worse uncertainty, being raised by my depressive, volatile maniac of a grandmother and surviving the blanket bombing during World War II in Germany, in Hamburg, and later the south of Germany. The violence she survived was extreme. She was afraid to go to swimming lessons as she was always covered in bruises. One time the teacher saw them and wrote a letter home, but the swimming lessons discontinued. This was rather inconvenient when my 15-year-old mother was put in charge of looking after civilian orphans who were bombed out and sent to Bavaria, which is in the south of Germany. And she had orders from the top, my mother said, from Hitler himself. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but she said they came from very, very high up in the Nazi party, to teach the children to swim in the local lake. She couldn't swim properly. However, orders were orders in Nazi Germany. So each day she went to the lake and dog paddled until she was confident enough to not drown. Then she took the children down. They also learned to swim. Probably to this day they could only dog paddle, but that was still swimming. Anyway, I have this fond memory of climbing our own walls in the kitchen. My mother would encourage me to climb up on a chair onto the kitchen stovetop, which was high enough to climb up onto the top of the kitchen cupboard, and vertically from there I could reach the manhole to the attic, and then I would carefully push the manhole cover up on the ceiling beams, slide it across, then I would shimmy on tiptoe off the top cupboard, then climb into the ceiling cavity. Bear in mind I was 7 years old when I was doing this. I would sit there for as long as I could stand the heat. New Zealand summers were never very hot, but under the tin roof with no insulation, the temperature would get very humid indeed. We had a skylight under which I could read the books my mother stored up there, or she would get me to tell her what was up there, and I would hand down various items to her. It never occurred to me, age 6 and 7, how very dangerous this wall climbing really was. It never occurred to my mother either. I was fortunate in that I never fell out of the attic and broke anything. I was small and agile and adventurous. I did later break my right wrist. That happened at a New Zealand health camp, several hours north of Wellington where we lived. Oh, the irony. I was sent there for my poor chest issues with chronic bronchitis and came home with a broken wrist. I hated that camp. We slept in dormitories pardon me, actually it was more like a very big hall, and we were like lying on camp stretchers in rows, long rows of children, I think about 20 children per row if I remember correctly, all the way down this long hall. And so I thought that was a dormitory, Didn't know any better, did I, at 7? Jesus. But anyway, it was fucking creepy. And there were dozens of children sleeping on stretchers in this huge hall. Adults walked up and down all night. I feared them. I had good reason to fear them. If kids cried and wouldn't settle to sleep, they were spanked on their behinds. So mostly I faked sleep until I passed out. Surprisingly, I was not sexually abused there. Small mercies. I do remember they were terribly upset when I broke my arm. We were miles from any hospital, so they drove me to a local GP who confirmed my arm was broken. It was actually my wrist. It's my wrist that broke. Gave me painkillers, put my arm in a sling. Then I was shipped back to Wellington so that I could be taken to Wellington Hospital, where orthopaedic specialists could reset my wrist and put a proper cast on it. I felt afraid to be the only child on that bus coming home early from camp, afraid and in pain. The bus trip took forever. I slept most of the way, my way of coping with long trips. Still do that to this day, by the way. Easier to sleep through it than deal with the crap that usually went on. My parents screaming all the way. This time I slept as a way to pass the time, and because I was a tad sleep deprived from trying to stay awake each night in that dormitory. Drinking mullein tea to try and drive the irritation and the congestion out of me. I'm not actually as bad as I was yesterday, believe it or not, and the day before and the day before that. So, Be'ezrat Hashem, I'm healing, I'm on the mend. My body's adjusting to the change of having air force down my throat every bloody night. For the love of all the gods. What an existence. Looking like the bride of Darth Vader or Ganesha. Literally, my mask looks like a rhinoceros beetle face. Hannibal Lecter, roll on over, big boy. Mama T's coming through. But no, it's not funny, actually. I arced up about it for months. I had to finally submit because I didn't want to let my psychiatrist and neurologist down and prove to them that I was willing to keep choosing life and try and make my wonderful life for myself at long last. I've been trying to do it along all these years without treatment, so I'll just give it one more go, try my best, and whatever the gods decree, the gods decree. I hope they're kind to me from now on, because it's been a bloody almighty struggle again. But anyway. I broke my arm after being bullied by a boy behind me on the monkey bars. I was halfway across. I got scared. I froze. "Jump," he yelled. "You're holding us all up. Jump!" The monkey bar was high up, higher than I had anticipated from the ground. I hung down, and there was a few feet beneath my hanging feet to jump. "Jump for Christ's sake, you sissy girl! You idiot! Get out of my way!" So I jumped down. Now, had my 2 little feet been on land, on safe land, knowing what I know about what I was like as a child, I just would have just punched him right in the nose, but I was in a vulnerable position, hanging between the monkey bars in mid-air, like the hangman in the tower, nowhere to go. Couldn't go forward, couldn't go back because that little bastard behind me. So I jumped. I landed on my ass, but my right hand and arm landed on my lap and involuntarily bounced off my knee and onto the hard ground. In that split second that my wrist and arm made contact with the ground, there was a sick, crunching sound and instantaneous pain, such as I had never experienced before. My screams quickly drew a crowd of kids and adult guardians. The bus arrived at the depot. I was the last passenger waiting on the bus. My fucktard mother is late. The bus driver wants to go home. His shift has ended. It was a long trip. He is eyeballing me in his rear vision mirror. The tension is building. I am alone, on a bus, in pain, 7 years old, I might remind you, and my mother has not come to pick me up. Here I write, I am 7 years old. I don't know what to do. So I start crying. He gets mad and frustrated. He yells from his front driver's seat, "Get off the bus, kid. I have to go. I can't wait forever, you know." I think to myself, what a bastard. But I don't know what to do. If I get off the bus, I'll be alone on the street. If I stay on the bus, he will hate me, but I reckon I am safer on the bus. Finally, he explodes in anger. "Look, kid, your mother isn't here, but you have to wait for her outside." There is a lump in my throat and a knot in my stomach, but I gather my bag and get off the bus. Just as I am getting off the bus, my mother runs, huffing and puffing with her characteristic asthmatic wheeze. "About time," yells the driver. She yells, "I'm sorry, I went to the wrong depot." I think to myself, she's always going to the wrong depot. She is always so wrong. I can't help feeling relief run through me, like a rush of tingling fever from my scalp to my toes. I can handle her wrath. She's my monster. I did not feel like handling the wrath of the burly, aggressive, ass-hole driver. He cranks up the motor and drives away, still fuming. My mother gathers me up and we go to catch another bus home. The next day, my father drives us to the hospital. He has work. He leaves me with my mother. I get put in a waiting room and then taken into the surgery. My mother waits outside. There are 3 or 4 doctors and nurses in the room. A bright light. They give me an anesthetic, tell me to count backwards. In an instant, I am gone. An instant later, I wake up with a thumping great cast on my wrist and forearm, which reached to about midway here. It is heavy, uncomfortable, and I feel like my arm is swollen and being squeezed like a sausage within. They usher me out. My mother is standing outside. We are told to wait for the pain medication prescription. She is hassled and irritated and awkward. She turns to me. You screamed the entire hospital down the whole time you were in there. What the hell is wrong with you? I have embarrassed her. I don't even know why. I didn't even know I was screaming. I said, I don't know, Mummy. I was asleep. I didn't know I was screaming. The doctors or nurses come out, mutter something to her. She snatches the script and pushes me. She had this habit of pushing me with the tip of her finger. And she would guide me like that, the back of my head or the back of my shoulders. Oh, she was a cuntish thing when I think about it. Why did I go and look after her for the last 18 months of her life? Can someone please explain? I must have been some kind of fucking martyr. Well, I don't do martyrdom anymore. Don't ever ask me to go to an enemy of mine and protect them or defend them or ever fucking make sure that they're being cared for in an old people's home or nurse them or have anything to do with them ever, ever, ever again. It's one thing I learnt from that experience. Don't go back to the scene of a perfect crime. Don't go back to your family of origin who was so fucking rotten. Just walk away, keep walking away, never look back. Don't get manipulated when they're dying. Don't get manipulated with their bullshit lies. I suppose my daughter says the same thing about me, but it's unjustified because I was not a monster to her like my mother was to me, by the way. I don't deserve her abuse dynamics either. I'm caught between two generations of narcopaths, which is why I'm done. Anyway, here we go. Must try to carry on with these readings because they're long today. Pushes me at the back of my head down the long corridor of the hospital. She's pushing me the whole way like some kind of animal. Even other people were like, who treats their kid like that when they've just come out of surgery having their arm reset? My mother, that's who. I have been a nuisance again. I am always such a pain in the ass. That's how she made me feel, like I was utterly fucking worthless most of my childhood and adulthood, by the way. Why did I scream? I don't remember my dreams. I was out cold. What did I dream? What happened in there? I remember waking up and the look of alarm on the medical staff faces. They know. They know. But no one will do anything. I am not important. I'm a little kid. No one cares about little kids. We have no value, no rights. Bad things happen to us, and no one believes you anyway. I look down at my squeezed, painful right arm. Yup, cool. I have something no one else has. I have a massive cast on my arm, and other people can write on it. It's heavy and cumbersome, and it will heal my arm, but it will also make a great weapon. I smile to myself. My very first super power. You can tell I'm a real Viking. Maybe not an immediate ancestry, since the Vikings lived in the 800 AD to 1000s AD, that time period. But I have a real Viking spirit. I will fight my way to my own death if I have to. And those that recognise that and see the blood burst out in my eye occasionally, they know when you brought me to that state. Time to back off, mofos. You've gone too far. my very first superpower discovered when I was 7 years old. After writing that story, when I published it on Facebook initially, I had a woman contact me. It was a bit bizarre. She sort of went on about how she related to that story, and her husband is an anaesthetist, and they were actually studying why trauma survivors like myself go into the state when they're put under anaesthetic, where all the old traumas are coming up in the subconscious state while they're unconscious. And she said it's not an uncommon phenomenon for people to scream and scream and scream and talk in their sleep kind of thing, releasing all the traumas while they're in that twilight zone of being under general anaesthetic. So I was grateful she told me that, because I always wondered, as I wrote, why did I scream? I don't even remember my dreams. I was out cold. Apparently it's a very commonplace phenomenon to occur. And anyway, she was a lovely woman, and then sort of preferred friendship and then withdrew it. So don't know what that was about. Maybe she read the rest of my writings and didn't like the rest of what I had to say about life. Who knows? Yin and yang, spiral up, spiral down, find your 0 point median field of source creation, and everything's Zen, babies. Day 4 of everything Zen. Anyway, you have to laugh. You have to laugh. It's not all meant to be taken too seriously, but it was kind of a wonderful gift she gave me, that I now understand that was a normal way for a 7-year-old who's enduring child sexual abuse at home to react under anaesthetic. Wasn't quite such a freak or a weirdo after all as my mother tried to make me out. Anyway, here we go. I just had my debrief with my psychiatrist. He said my diaries, although re-traumatizing and triggering of my depression and anxiety, are extremely valuable as they are my voice. Yes, he gets it. Marvellous. I feel so supported and respected. Indeed I do. I really do. Home from ecstatic dance, exhausted but happy. It was good to be able to dance in a group, in person again. Smiley face. Because we couldn't dance in person because of the COVID insanity. Like just deemed insanity when we had to do everything via Zoom, to keep us excluded from each other and trapped in our homes in the lockdowns that we were having. 17th of July 2019. I woke up early. I just went outside in the freezing cold to try to see the lunar eclipse. Nup, missed out again, but its energies stirred me from my subterranean depths where I lay sleeping. I woke up with 3 words in my head and had to smile at my angels. Maintain the rage. July 2019. This was only not quite a month after my gallbladder surgery. I can't even. I'm too old, too tired, too fucking broken. But my angels always know how to fire me up, conspire to inspire. I love them. Even my metaphysical guides are anarchists and revolutionaries. Luminous luminaries, philosophical jokesters. Someone else can take my baton and maintain the rage for me. I have my debrief this afternoon. I hope I will not be enraged. If so, I will quit therapy, but we shall see. What a glorious morning. Something truly beautiful is manifesting in my spirit today. I have been lying in my warm bed, ably protected on each side by Beauregard and Penny, feeling greatly loved by their animal spirits, and yes, by the unseen ones. Thank you for your loving message this morning, Louise Winton, my Irish Jewish angel, who loves me so fiercely all the way from Manchester, England. Thank you to Laura Martin in Ontario, Canada, who constantly keeps me precious. Thank you to Megan, who constantly reminds me of our warrior goddess rising and shining. Thank you to Catherine, also, that's Catherine Holdsworth, a wonderful Catherine, a wonderful friend. Thank you to those who say nothing as they know not what to say or do, but send me their loving energy. Thank you to the gods, the angels, the elementals, gratitude to the elementals. Don't tell them thank you. And most of all, to Gaia, who nurtures me daily and gently lulls me through dark times and the brightest, most glorious, momentous blitzes, who holds my energy deep in the bowels of molten lava and takes it and seethes it and transmutes it and sends it back to me so I can, once again, know happiness. The war is a righteous one, a worthy one. I'm so honoured to have stood up, even in my most weakest and vulnerable, and fought against abuse and injustice, yet again. Maybe my efforts are ineffectual. I shall probably die alone, unloved and untouched by human men, but that will be my greatest glory. For I stood beside the divine feminine, and I shook the temples of the patriarchy down to the ground, screaming and trembling in awe before gods of my own innate understanding, and like Shimshon, Samson, who is the Jewish version of Hercules, the Greek god, half demigod of great strength. The only way they could negate me was to cut my hair or silence me, rape or marginalize me. But I grew back, time and again, across all paradigms and vortices, in the face of all deception, betrayal, slander, and my own perspicacity. That's actually spelt wrong there. Have to fix that. In the face of my own poverty and doubts and fears and rivers of tears. No, it's the other way around. Anyway, it's throwing me for a loop now. Sorry, and the one wrong word can send me on a loop. In the face of my own poverty and doubts and fears and rivers of tears and agonies imposed by an unworthy society and a body reaching its final declension, but yet still healing itself and raising its standard on the fields of carnage that steal our honour and our womanly pride, I yielded to no abuser nor their handmaiden. I sipped from the golden chalice of the gods. I was well cared for and satiated. Just when I thought love would enfold me, he slipped away again, but I have watched him peeking and seeking behind the crowds. I don't know what that was about, since he had no real interest in me. It's kind of a form of stalking in a way. It was odd. Silently yearning to gain control over my heart and mind. Afraid of a warrior goddess and her limitless love and her still blossoming potential. I wish someday he can come back to me. I no longer wish that. Not that particular man. Not worthy of my life, all my light, all my courage, all my beauty, all my love. Not a scrap is he worthy of me. And know my heart was only meant to nourish and nurture and to be cherished in return. True love is a gift that is given both ways. Indeed it is. An energy that builds and climaxes and cascades again and again, with or without you. I love you as soon as I open my eyes each day, and I love you as I close my eyes each night. Sad but true. But anyway, thankfully I'm over that now. A love that emboldens and unfolds even though we are apart, as you never chose me. Ha ha. What fucking epic knavery. I lay here thinking of all the men who stole or purchased or claimed a piece of my heart. The same whimsical games played over and over again, even amidst platonic male friends. I remembered sweet young Efren, who after a boxing match full of Mexican pride and fire, yelling at me to get away from him. I had started to look at him with love, which was confusing as at that time in my life I was in love with that devil, Davidson, and I was truly disturbed and broken and shattered. So I was cleaving to anyone who treated me with any sort of kindness. And I am grateful to Efren, who saw my suffering and did not take advantage of it. A kind, decent, loyal friend. I remember running up an embankment and far away. I was upset, of course. Rejection hurts. But we remained friends over the years. That is a far greater privilege than any roll in the hay. I also remember the early years with my beloved friend Jared, who verily saved my life in those most hellish, sadistic days when my marriage crumbled and my mother stepped up her campaign of terror. Without his and Lynn Sloan's staunch, determined love, I would not be alive today, and my children would have been raised by blood-curdling, practicing pedophiles and their henchmen. So I never regret wanting a different life for my daughters, but the abuse was so entrenched that they too became abusers, and that, my friends, is how my story begins and ends. A useless, unmothered woman who, like a fool, dreamed of better or safer or kinder or different, but yes, accursed I was with the inability to break my chains. So in the sunshine of my middle age, I can only rattle them and staunch the bleeding and take my courage, my occasional absurdist euphoria, and kiss the face of God, my jealous God, who refuses to allow me a life partner that is authentic and mine. He refuses me the comfort and ease and love with my children and any potential grandchildren, which there will be none now because of this interference, given their ages, how old they are now as women. But he gifts me a functioning mind and no more silence, and the heart of a warrior goddess, bloodletting his spiritual courage, and a broken, battered heart that is eternal. Some of my former lovers have no idea what hit them. They thought they could strangle me, rape me, and I would lick their feet with eminent gratitude for such betrayal. Well, one could not cross the threshold between this world and the next, as I told him for his disgusting ignominy. He would one day crawl at my feet, and I would step over him. He bashed my door for 4 consecutive nights, mind you, but could not cross my threshold. My angels showed me I was loved and protected. But who are they, these angels that send me into mortal danger and gift me men with golden auras who can only fake love to slake their lust, i.e. Dave? Yet still they peek and cast aspersions from behind other men's shoulders, as deep down, way deep down inside, that quivering in their glands and wrinkled, twisted hearts, they know. My love was true and strong and enduring, while they played me for a fool, and even my capricious trickster gods had to shield their eyes and shake their heads, because the Tanya never, ever fucking quit. Says she with nothing but rattling in my lungs right now. So when my time comes, sighs, I will be met by dozens of cats and birds and a few dogs and a horse named Asphiloth, by former comrades of heart, by ancestors who truly loved me and had my back. I rebuke those evil ones from now to the rest of eternity. And by beloved friends who stood by me through thick and thin, and my spirit shall rejoice into the next horizon beyond all worlds, dancing through the Sephirot, gladness in all the universes, a love denied me in this incarnation that will be all I ever dreamed of in the next blossoming. Thank you, Eternal One, all that is, was, and ever shall be, and a tiny little spirit named Tanya, welcome home, wherever that is. Oh, and maintain the rage. And here's a little boy who maintained his rage for as long as he could too. Fierce little warrior god dog. yes, little warrior goddess, very mortal and human mama. But we were a dynamic duo, him and I. I want to go out somewhere nice, all glammed up, nowhere to go. Still have pain in my right side, had my debrief, came home and made a cake for Jared's new house, so I'm going to see him tomorrow. Pain or no pain. I put on makeup and beaded my hair, dressed up, showed up. Yes, reconfiguring the Tanya. It's very cold in here. I've got it on 25 and I still feel flipping freezing. Let me just turn it up a little bit. Here I posted an article published on medium.com. Seneca, curbing snobbery, personal growth, Medium. Can someone show this article to those evil, perverted pricks at the Princess Alexandra Hospital pre-admission? Just in case my shrieking of agonised outrage fell on deaf, dumb ears. What do? I maintain the rage. I destroy the abuse of the patriarchal paradigms. I rock your fucking ignoble, pretentious, sadistic world. I heal in my own way, then I forgive so we can begin from scratch. This article just showed up in my email inbox from medium.com. Timely. I told you something beautiful was surrounding me. This little validation, a case in point. God always has my back, except when I pushed me too far. Him. Damn it, it did not link. Wonderful article on elitism and snobbery and stoicism, because magic happens, babies. Goo Goo Dolls, Iris. Yes, the iris, the iris. By Joves, maybe the propofol has worked. Winky face. 'Tis believed to cure complex PTSD. Well, 2 surgeries within 3 months. My mind is clear. Too early to tell. Laughing my ass off. Oh dear goddess. Well, we're not quite there yet, babies. Mama T's still in a process of exponentially blossoming, but it's getting more and more magnificent, if I say so myself. 17th of July 2018. Another exquisite winter's day in paradise. My jaw is on the mend. 'Tis the 8th day. Glad that I'm feeling much better, although extremely fatigued. Finally out of bed to enjoy the sunshine with my feather fur fin family. And then I posted a show reel of my daughter, Crystal Aarons and Zach Bolton, 2018 TOTL show reel scene. My brilliant daughter, I wrote. Yes, she is brilliant. 17th of July 2000. It's the truth. She's brilliant. She just doesn't doesn't treat me very nicely, but it doesn't matter now, does it? It's nothing new under the sun. It's just a repeat pattern. Just a repeat pattern. I have people who do love me though, very, very much, and care about me, and even paying for me to have CPAP treatment and urology visits, and it's not even about money, it's just about wanting to see me at long last have a wonderful life and heal. So I must not says she, trying not to die. I must not surround myself by people, even my own blood, who don't have my back and don't support me, because it's just casts me back down into the abyss that I've only recently climbed out of again by my own strength and determination. If you don't love me, that's okay. Not everyone has to love me. I hold no one into any soul contracts of love or even sexuality or basic fucking care. If you're incapable of it, that's okay. Bye-bye. Go be awesome somewhere else. I probably should not have even reached out to her, but I thought after 7, 8, 9, 10 months, she might have gotten over herself a bit, but no. No, won't be happening. For which I'm deeply, deeply distressed and upset, but c'est la vie, babies. 2017, 17th of July. Oh God, my ears have got all funny now. Blew my nose out, blow my whole frickin'. Oh, look what, it's amazing I don't have a stroke, quite frankly. You have to laugh. Here we go. We're okay. We're okay, people of Earth. We're okay. We're living our dreaming. Psychedelic dream. I even got my goddess on today that I made by hand out of ebony. I got my goddess. The goddess is within. The goddess is without, surrounding me with love and honour and integrity and peace and comfort and ease, and surrounding me by those who do genuinely, authentically love and care for me. That is the power of the goddess. Penny and Beauregard lying in the winter sun. Sweet little babies. Charlie's very quiet today. Should go and get her, shouldn't I? She didn't want to come out this morning. She did not want to know. Feeling lightheaded and weak, so going to have a lie down before my dentist appointment at 2 p.m. It was a tumultuous weekend. I ended yet another friendship on Saturday and feel really drained from all the crap, frankly. I'm glad I had an awesome Friday night and most of Saturday, which was such a beautiful day. It restores my soul, this gorgeous weather and the love of true friends. Back molar patched, no anaesthetic, but one problem solved. I have to go back in September for the final root canal excavation that was supposed to be done today, but the broken molar took priority. Long, slow slog of toothy problems since December last year. Ugh. She tells me if she can't fix the root canal issue, I still get sensitivity and pain in it. She'll have to send me to a specialist with microscopes to find where the length of the canals go. Oh my God. My darling Jared and little Harvey are here, so I'm enjoying their company and not fixating on my teeth. Yay. My friend Margaret wrote, hey, best wishes. I broke a molar recently, got a temporary filling, booked into getting a gold cap. Bit hilarious, but 'tis stronger. Tempting just to pull the tooth out, methinks. Indeed. Someone wrote on my Facebook status update, and I know exactly who that someone was. Who put... I mean, you have to laugh. This is what they do when I leave the room, leave my iPhone open and go to the toilet, people of Earth. You have to laugh. Who put the bop in... I can't even say it. Who put the bop in bop shoo bop? Little bastard. And I wrote back, ha ha ha, Jared. And then he replied, who put the ram in the Ramalama Ding Dong? So that was an admission on his part that it was him. 17th of July 2016. They're just like naughty kids sometimes. You know, when Crystal and Jared are here, they gang up on me, both of them, mercilessly sometimes. Sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's fucking not, depending on my mood. But anyway, that was kind of funny that day, that night. 7th of July 2016. 3:13 a.m. Home safe, in bed, utterly exhausted. Another fantastic night. Not sure how much longer I can keep physically doing this, but it has been worth it. Fun before I die, as I promised myself. Home to my cats in Beauregard. The house is so quiet, but the energy is singing. Big shifts, big changes. I feel so much pain right now, but this too shall pass. 'Twas good to be whirling dervishing again, but now my bed is my solace and refuge, alone. Woken up to the stink of steaming hot cat poop on my rug. I ran out of cat litter and one of the cats disliked the newspaper I threw in the litter tray, so I was punished. Punishment it is for real, as immediately the fumes reached me while lying in my bed. My eyes began streaming and my nose burned. Then I started sneezing, and I felt so allergic I had to get up to investigate the extent of the damage. Offending poop now cleaned up, but the nose eyes still watering. Ugh, remind me why I have animals. I had just put Bobo outside, he asked, several minutes before the offensive feline pooped on my rug. The little bastard. Which one? Could have gone out with him. This rug pooping thing is starting to be a regular occurrence, even with fairly fresh cat litter. So annoying. Really was bad behaviour. But they do that sometimes, cats, when there's a dog around and they just act out. Here I wrote, footsteps on the way to Mordor. And it's my turkey had left all her little scratch marks, or his little scratch marks rather, leading to the mound. The mound. Oh, bless. Haven't got a mound here again this year, which I'm glad. I tried to deter them because the cats and the dog used to pick off all the babies as they'd hatch out of the mound, and it was so traumatising for me. I saved one. One I got in the nick of time and managed to save him and put him back out in the forest, but majority got eaten, so they were discouraged from mounding here. The Mound of Mordor. Oh well, you don't need to see more photos of the Mound of Mordor. I just showed you. Taking Beauregard to the dog park as he needs to run and I need to ground. My art work in progress for my fish pond needs redoing after all these years. It's all peeled off. Can you see it? Where is it? Yeah, there. I'm not waving, but drowning. On the back of the arm I wrote, I'm not drowning, but waving. So there you go. Oh, that wind's intense. Very intense. The inside, positive side of my arm, couple of mistakes as I dropped the paintbrush, or rather, it slipped out of my hand. Shmeh, it is only for the pond. Oh dear goddess. Bobo's art. He decided to join in while I was working on my project, so he chewed up his frisbee, which I was not real happy about actually, but it's art. It's Bobo's art. He participated, whatever Mama was doing. I do believe he is smiling, exhausted after all his efforts, chewing up the frisbee. Sweet little boy he was. Such a sweet little boy. I'm going to have to put tights on and go out and buy some groceries because I've got nothing to eat much really, of anything worth eating. I haven't bought proper groceries in weeks. I have to do it. I'm running low. My pretty boy, he's worn out from attempting to hump my arm, destroying his frisbee, gnawing on a bone, and stressing about his mad human mama. Yes, he did stress about me quite a lot, that little one. He was a very good dog talk, but he had a lot of stress. Today my talk finally broke. It is only bronze or steel, but I was rather fond of it. My gold talk that my former sister bought me years ago broke a few years back. I never take them off, so I suppose they get quite a hammering, excuse the pun. Now I need to save up for another one, as warriors of Viking, Celtic, Teutonic ancestry must have their talks as a symbol of their survival and mana. I will try to get a wolf talk from Crafty Celts in the US. I've wanted one for a long time, but it seemed superfluous when I still had one. You can also buy a wire weaving kit from the US. Gail told me about it years ago, to make your own Viking jewellery. I might just leave it up to the experts though, and buy one ready-made. I now know how to weave. Do the weaving. I can sort of kinda know how to do the weaving. I could make one. Could make another one. It's still in silver yet. Might do it one day. I'll think about it. I've got my talk my daughter bought me from Glastonbury, so I'm happy with that. Very happy with that, babies. I still feel cold. I'm going to have to put my cardigan on. Why is it cold and not hot? It's on the wrong thing. No, it says heat. Well, I don't know. Maybe because I'm right next to the glass windows and copying the cold coming off the windows. It's odd. A bit odd. Anyway. Here we go, another day in paradise, babies. We've only got 2 more weeks and then a month of August, and so 6 weeks of winter left. We'll start getting hot, very, very hot, from one extreme to the other in Brisbane, Australia, babies. I lost my black spectacles somewhere, possibly in the garden. So I'm stuck with my cheap hospital grade ones. Not happy. They are the same script, but my eyes are sore and dry. These ones are ugly too. I had to wear them both nights out, looking like a dork, but I like being able to see too, smiley face. That stupid Sicilian Freemason turned outlaw motorcycle club member still trawls after me at the casino. We were never lovers either. He was just a friend of a woman I met there and became friends. The dumb prick needs glasses as he squints at me from the opposite end of the dance floor. I think he was squinting, trying to appear threatening. You're like, I'm gonna get you. Gonna get me for what? For being a true friend? Fuck off, dogs. He doesn't dare fucking approach me after he made lewd jibes at me about only having 4 sexual partners the whole time I went there. So I told him, at least I'm not the last idiot that got patched who shut down an entire clubhouse. Double agent, that one. He ran like a rabbit then, as he knows, I know. How did I phrase it? Last one on, last one off. He took off like a long dog. But anyway, this is the thing. Here I write. What do I know? Nothing. But he is too stupid to know that for sure. What I know is he thinks I know a lot more, and sometimes that is my superpower. Not giving a fuck or being intimidated by gronks. Besides, my people who get me are survivors of holocausts, shootings, domestic violence, child sexual abuse and rape, and more violence than the average person can comprehend. What do we fear but fear itself? We live in a fucked up, judgmental, elitist, materialistic world who shuns and mocks, hides from my type of fury. As so they should, since their lying, hypocritical apathy is how we all got here in the first place. No one has integrity or guts anymore. The Tanya grows weary, but at least she has one dickhead-free zone. And I wrote that in response to a TV show, Sicily, home of the mafia. A new generation of Sicilians is breaking the mafia's #1 rule. Never talk about the mafia. Anyway, it is what it is, people. When you hang out with people of low caliber and low ethics and low intelligence and zero couth, when you lie down with dogs, you wake up with fleas. Just saying. So I had to walk away from all of that too. Astonishingly though, I did have a lot of support in that clubhouse. And someone, I won't name, but a wonderful man of the hierarchy, said to me one night, never, ever, ever stop being you, Tanya. We think you're okay. We really, really admire you. And I was very astonished and heart-warmed by that. So I did have friends, even in the highest echelons of that space. I have ways of making either very, very powerful, wonderful, loving, amazing, staunch friends, and my enemies that I've made along the way were usually people that are just such low grade caliber, they're not worth a scrap under my fingernail. And that is the truth, people of Earth. Trigger warning, Unrequited love obsessions, religious abuse rantings, discussion of childbirth. What year was this? 2016. I think I said 2016. Yes. Another time to remove yourself for a cup of tea if you can't handle my reality. Undeadable zombie creature did a very bad thing. She reached out through the membrane that divides her from her lost true love, clawed through the impenetrable skin, wall, barrier, scratched and sniffed at his ignorance and contempt, but loved, 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 loved. Undeadable zombie creature should not be in charge of an iPhone, or use words, feelings, thoughts as her clarion call to love, or dance, or jive, or walk, or crawl where angels fear to tread, or even be alive. Undeadable zombies who are off their meds should not inflict their abandonment issues on their jailers, who still hold the keys to that little hut on the Riviera. Undeadables are probably dead and always have been, but are now just ghosting, or worse, hosting something dark and fetid, wrapped up in holographic pretty packaging, like now they do with Hungry Jack's fries to deter the seagulls. Ha ha ha. Pretty pictures of bedazzlement hide nothing from the vultures of fate and the dour, dark, vengeful messengers of God. You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, but you can stuff it, smoke it, feed it to the dogs of war, hate, dead love, and if you are not kosher, eat it. Sourpuss. Ain't nobody got time for that. In the midst of my revelry last night, grief and bitterness poured through me like a scalding oil. It gave me superpowers of stamina and mortification of my poor beleaguered body. She sang Joey, and I went off, healing myself in my own madness. I was never mad, people of Earth. Triggered maybe, but I've never been mad. I drank only water last night, so my mood, state of being, grace has nothing to do with booze or psych meds. This is me now, raw, putrefaction of my spirit. So many feeders, users, abusers have turned me wild. But I was always wild. Perhaps my freedom, which came at the cost of real love, is finally going to be my demise. Sigh, sighs. I fought back from another long illness. My lungs squeezed in permanent disdain. Now when I'm getting better, my mind snaps. My psychiatrist is right. I will not cede control of this body to anyone but me, not even to illnesses. I will take my own control back. I am not a golem or a zombie anymore. I can only push myself so far, and I have pushed enough. But these are my thoughts and feelings fueled by exhaustion, by rejection and or abandonment, by loss, poverty and grief. Another day blossoms on my gnarly, decaying tree of life. The bush burns effortlessly, but will not be consumed. God, my traitor in whom I trust, has more tricks up his sleeve. Oh, Daddy. Oh, David. Oh, Adonai, oh, Adonis. Fuck you, fuck it, fuck me. I am yours. I marked my flesh with you. May 2012. You blessed me with a car fittingly named the Ein Sof, September 2012. Then you sent me angels. One by one they came. You even sent me mine enemies to beg my attention before you claimed their spirit forever. O Holy One, your little girl is awake and aware. She is whom she is becoming. She is a creation of I am that I am. She can't and or won't escape you or your love or grace amidst the fires of hell and the burning light of the Ein Sof Or. For this you brought me to this season? Please release me, let me go, for I don't love you anymore. Not angry anymore, not alone anymore. Ha ha, lies I tell myself to stay vital on this moot planet. I am not afraid anymore, not of my family of origin or their bastard henchmen and women. You took my money, homes, security, dog, sanity, but when you took my spirit and crushed it, you took too much. It was never yours, does not belong to anyone but God, and even He does not want it. That is why I'm here on this regurgitating, recycling centre of the living, dead, living, being made to do this shit all over again. Maybe I am the reincarnation of my grandmother Eva, the violent femme suicide, or Henry VIII. Too many heads of women, so now I am doomed to love the headless, soulless, empty-hearted horsemen of the apocalypse. Such grandiosity. Perhaps I've developed bipolar after all. God knows, Buck the schmuck falsely accused me of that often enough as his foul, excremental excuse to slander me as crazy or violent and a liar, when all along he set me up to steal my future security and my life from me, by the way, and my children. And his franchise of greedy, malignant cohorts helped him do it. Gila, Terry, David Davidson, his girlfriend, later wife Kylie, his daughters, and who else got on that bandwagon? 4 question marks. So many. Well, I survived because fuck them and their evil lies and greed and envy. What was there to envy? A damaged woman struggling to survive with her 2 young children was so fierce they had to annihilate her? My ferocity, my strength, my mind, which is now fucked beyond repair? Question mark. They wanted a piece of that as well as my vagina, my soul. If not for 3 rabbis defending me, I would not be here telling my truth. Truth is my only card left in my armory of love, love of God who tormented me, and love of self, whom I constantly doubted because I was made to be worthless and kicked to the curb. Love of a few select humans. Love of a life that was always possible but always denied me. But the psychedelic dreamer never gave up on the dream and never will. For without hope, faith, charity and fantasy, there is no reason to hold oneself up in the mirror of life amidst the smoke and ashes. Life, birth, rebirth, rinse and repeat, die, rise and shine. I am done. The dead have danced too long, but it was beautiful. It was wild. It was free. So was she. I can hold my head high. I tried. I am in transition between contractions, subtractions, distractions, on the way to another kind of life. I got this. Birth pangs of new alignments are killing me. I was never a very good breeder. Ha ha. Long epic labours which required artificial interventions. But I birthed those babies through my vagina, even with epidurals and enough drugs to kill several horses. I pushed them free of my body to lives of their own. My doctor even complimented me on my ability to push so damn hard. And if my body had not resisted birth so much, my defunct cervix, I would have had quick labours. I was born to push. Push, push, push. Even my Madui healer called me Mustang Quay, woman, as I push so damn hard. Push myself to the edges of the known world and back again. For what? For no fucking reason but to survive. He offered to tame me, the undeadable, untamable. I wouldn't let him, them, break my spirit down. But soon, I pray, I fly over the mountains, free at last, so mote it be. Later I wrote, yum, just cooked a Spanish tortilla with eggs, onion and potatoes. Pity I had no garlic, but it was still delicious. Yes, I'm getting hungry again too. I love this so much, I am resharing. Unfuck yourself. Be who you were before all that stuff happened that dimmed your fucking shine. Sunset at Holland Park, lilac skies. A beautiful colour. Absolutely beautiful. July 2015. Some of you will remember me dancing in these boots at Irish Murphy's and at the casino and at the Greenbank Carousel and I think even the Elephant. Those very, very gorgeous boots that I've never been able to replace because I stopped making them, unfortunately. Doc Martens studded high-heeled boots. Today I was bullied and silenced twice. I wonder why so many trolls are on pages dedicated to fight child sexual abuse, because they really are evil perverts. I wonder how many other survivors see this as clearly as I do. I wonder how long these enablers and defenders of paedophilia hope to get away with it, why they believe they are right and that society protects them. Why is this life a torment and a torture for women like myself who have found our voice and are fearless? Why these, mostly men, dare to silence or shun me? Shame be upon their heads. I will continue to speak my truth until the day I die, and fuck anyone who tries to deny me that right. Well, not actually fuck them, for they are well and truly fucked up already, smiley face. 17th of July 2014. I slept all day. Went to sleep around 2 a.m. and woke up at 4:30 p.m. My doctor is right. I am exhausted from being awesome or brilliant, as he termed it, laughing out loud. My poor mind can't keep up with the depression, manic flavours triggered by loss, and the epic dancing. The old body is looking pretty sexy. I have muscle tone, but my mind is not so keen on being overloaded when keeping me breathing takes so much effort alone. Humph. So I will just keep breathing and wait for different parts of me to play catch up or die. Life is for living fully. That fucking annoying game is going around to support breast cancer, so I'm beating my breasts. No, my socks are not missing. Yes, I have loo paper for a change. No, I am not cheated on. Yes, I love all my women friends and men friends because we are all beautiful people who care deeply. Games piss me off, period. I'm throwing one tit over my shoulder 'cause I can, and nuzzling the other one under my arm 'cause I can. I have a mammogram every 2 years 'cause it's smart and I can. I no longer have those, by the way, because too much radiation is poisoning us, and I'm done being poisoned. Cancer is not a game. If I get it, I won't be playing nicely. Heaven forbid. Yesterday I realised quite randomly that Friday 19th of July, which is in 2 days' time, people, is my grandmother Eva's birthday. She died in 1949 by suicide, actually on the 8th of March. Gassed herself in the oven, the silly chook. She feared living alone without my mother for support as she was widowed in 1945. She had never worked. Women didn't in those days, apart from a few spectacular exceptions. And she suffered from some form of severe mental illness, so was often crazy violent, which is why you should know that I don't like it when I myself lose my ring or lose my shit and resort to violence myself, because I come from a long line of crazy motherfuckers on both sides of the family line, on my Phillips side and my Maya Kissau Petula side as well. I think she had burnt out and feared a life in poverty as she had lost everything in the war from the constant bombardment. Then a few hours after I remembered her birthday, I got an email from Wiki Ancestry to remind me of it. I thought that was weird, but just now, midway through typing this, I realised I had left hash browns in the griller, so rushed into the kitchen, just in time. My Eva has a weird way of reminding me I'm about to burn the house down or gas myself, lol. In this case, my subconscious reminded me, using my grandmother's memory to get me to go in the kitchen. I'm starting to worry that I don't need a male partner, but a full-time carer. I would hate to lose my independence, so that has me running scared. Harum scarum, time to ride, going out with Joe for a few hours, smiley face. No money, but need to dance. And Barry wrote, may you both have an extra great night. Cheers. And I replied, 19th of July, bloody typos. And it's twice that I've burnt hot hash browns in my griller in the past week or two. Grr for gas, grillers, and grinding, debilitating lunacy, lol. Nanny Dubs wrote, enjoy your dancing. Have you ever tried salsa dancing? There are places here that give you free salsa dance lessons, and then on a Friday night in Cuba Mall, they dance in the street. It's so awesome and just so much fun. I replied, I tried it once, lol. I'm more of a freestyling mosher or bolterer. All good fun. Note to my angels. I need money ASAP, smiley face. Bring me my one true love. Is there a few too many watchers or suitors at the pub? And I want whom I want, and this shit is fabulous fun, but very confusing. Indeed it is. My angels smugly already know who my true life partner is, so get busy. Amen Vasila. P.S. I can survive without much money, but I simply don't want to be alone anymore. 2000. When did I write this? 2015 or 14? Let's scroll back. 2014. 10 years later. Still alone, babies. I guess some things come down to destiny though, so I'm no longer sweating too much about it. Just enjoying the affections from my few sweet friends, and that's it. That's my life now. Handling it alone, as per usual. Thank you to the Holy One, blessed be He, and His co-conspirators. You once saved me from a potentially fatal head injury when I fell out the police academy bus by lifting me up and turning me around 180 degrees and landing me on my high-heeled feet like a cat. I got away with only a sprained ankle and was back at work next day. I became a bit of a supernatural freak as the OHS sergeant quizzed me on how I did it. I said, dunno, but I wasn't going to crack my head open on the curb when I have 2 kids at home that need me. Also, I like my brains inside my skull just fine. He gave me a weird look, muttered something, then yelled that I was not due workers' comp. I walked out feeling dazed and confused with my sore ankle, but it was that afternoon that I knew I had my very own protectors, and nothing and no one can take them away from me. Laughing my ass off. So yeah, I am a psychedelic dreamer and a huge believer. Some things are better left to the gods. Faith before I fall again for another unrequitable psychopath. The fool must navigate the abyss to transmute into the mage. I am greatly loved by unseen beings. Several times they have saved my ridiculous, sorry ass. I am meant to be here, whether I like it or not. It's an awesome thing to know I belong and am wanted and needed on this planet. Smiley face. 17th of July, 2013. I was listening to a program in a room on Power Talk, done in a chatty news entertainment style, which, however, alarmed me greatly. The journalist claimed that there are several residential care facilities in 3 states of the US. They are secreted away and disguised, but are in fact concentration camps. There is double razor wire on the inside of the fencing to keep people in, not to deter outsiders from getting in. They have got playgrounds at rear, etc., so entire families are housed there. The residential spokesperson claimed they are owned by immigration and that the children playing there are very happy and children of employees. All lies, says the journo, who was heard demanding answers, and shortly after the police were called and no real answers were given. He left in fear of reprisals. He says anyone anywhere in the world who regularly signs petitions or protests against governments are put on a watch list, and if considered a threat, they and their families are placed in these residences without due process. He also saw 7,000 plastic coffin liners, so these places are also equipped for mass burials. So I don't know how true this is, and we all know how governments lie. But please, I will continue to sign petitions and protest anything I feel passionate about that impinges on human rights or food quality, ecology, etc. If you fear continuing to fight alongside me on issues that I invite you to fight for via causes or other sites I send invites from, to avoid being watched on a watched list and risk being eliminated, then please understand I do not want you to risk your personal safety. I will continue to be a voice in the wilderness. I will never allow governments to silence or bully us into death camps again. This shit has happened before in Nazi Germany, and if it is truly happening again in the US or other first world countries, we must not be silent. Update 2022. You can add 2024 to that. Prescient. Yesterday I felt euphoric. Today I feel exhausted and drained. Oh well, one day at a time. Sweet Moses. Hashem, please cut me some slack so I can fully enjoy my life. Happiness, prosperity, and a genuine, loyal love partner would be nice, and enough good health to live with relish until I die. Cheers. Thanks in advance. Manifestation took, 2013? It's taken 11 years. 11 years, babies. But here we are, starting to see it unfold. Even me finally submitting to CPAP, which was utterly useless back in 2003, by the way. 17th of July 2012. Lucy's baby girl was born on the 13th of July. Her name is Ava. I'm a proud auntie. Unfortunately, she abandoned that child to the other family, and it is what it is. 17th of July 2011. I attempted to make crystallized violets tonight. Judging by the epic fail of the sugar syrup and or toffee disaster, I suspect the violets will not work out. This is why I rarely cook. I do hate to fail so spectacularly, regularly. I tried Hode's short for Hoda Makers, almond cake, but used self-raising flour and the whole thing exploded out of the tin. Not going to give that one another go, lol. I ended up throwing out that recipe, it consistently failed. So you either changed the recipe or it was dodgy as fuck. Thanks, Philip. Really annoyed about that, by the way, because that was one of his mother's favourite cakes and I begged for the recipe for many years before he eventually gave me it. Anyway, it didn't work out. Like, our friendship ultimately didn't work out because he crossed the line with me. C'est la vie, babies. Say the fucking vie. Fortunately, my friends and kids love me for my scintillating personality, charisma, and my occasionally successful poffertures. Heather Abramson wrote, "What are poffertures?" And Sally Castle replied, because she's Dutch background. Her mother actually was Dutch. Yummy little Dutch pancakes, a personal favourite. Me, laughing out loud, Sally. I made a batch for Jasmine the other night and turned around in time to see her whisk out her phone camera and take a photo of them before she devoured them happily. Oh. What year was that? 2011. The last time my daughter Jasmine ate a meal that I prepared, I guess, or was happy in my company. I don't know where the rot set in, I really don't. Maybe it was just them aging. I had to laugh because the last time I made them, the week before for Crystal, she also took a photo of my efforts. They have a whole photo commentary happening of the rare times I actually cook successfully. It's kind of obnoxious when you think about it, but I get the humour, I do. Somewhere in my photo archives, there is a photo of me smoothing mustard on a leg of lamb in an almost erotic fashion. Well, they took a photo of that, A, because I rarely cook lamb roasts as I can't afford meat, and B, because I was actually devoting much effort to the lamb, and C, because the look of intensity and longing on my face was hilarious. Oh, bless. Well, in those days, I hadn't had that was back in, I think, around about 2002. I hadn't had roast lamb since I'd left my husband, I guess. Well, he mainly provided steak. We ate so much fucking steak that to this day I very rarely can stomach eating steak. Every now and then my friend Lynn Sloan buys me a massive piece of steak when she thinks I need the iron, and it's always very delicious and enjoyable, but that's how rare that I eat steak now. Can't afford it, and actually got sick of it from eating it constantly while I was married. That's 10.5 years I was married to that man. I shared the 10 of Wands from my daily tarot card, and I used to do tarot on Facebook, which used to be hilarious. And I replied, I wish, still a long way to go before I'm in a position of completion, win or lose, because I was struggling with the will dispute in those days. But I'm enjoying life, so who needs money in their own home? Today is the best thing that ever happened to me. À demain. It means until tomorrow. Lol. Don't know what best thing happened on that day. I didn't enumerate, but if it was a good day, it was a good day, babies. Gotta take the good with the bad. 17th of July 2009. I saw Bruno tonight. He was fantastisch. And thus concludes today's readings of Even Date. I'm going to make a nice cup of tea. I'm going to sort of brush through my hair again now that it's dry, and go out and get some food to eat. And yes, we shall see what we shall see, my darlings. Have a beautiful day wherever you are on planet Earth or other interdimensional entities, wherever you are in the cosmos. Have a beautiful day, night, afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are, and always and forever remember, love each other, live your best life, and also simultaneously hold your line and never, ever, ever let the bastards grind you, me, us down. Big agape love. Big, big, big agape love from my angels and the elementals and the ancestors that love me and the gods and God and all manifestations from my sacred space at Titania's realm to yours. Bye for now.